Hey, you like the stock market? What a coincidence. So do I. In fact, this is my reoccurring Monday real life stock review where I look at stocks that you requested and go through the analysis and see what's shaping up. Let's dive in together right now.
Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsom with RealLifeTrading.com. Trust you had an amazing weekend. I most certainly did. Had so much chart action this weekend. It was great. Let's look at the SPY today. And what is interesting is this was a relatively bearish gap on the SPY. You'll notice that volume is still kind of declining. My buddy Matt DeLong today was texting me about that. But yeah, volume is still going down as we are going a little bit higher. And that's just going to prove that it's going to be a little tough to kind of press higher. Today was a relatively bearish gap without question. I did not trade the SPY today, but my thought is with this weekly chart, we're coming into the 10 EMA, and tomorrow will really be a relatively important day. Here's the hourly chart, and it actually makes sense if we do have any kind of weakness really at all tomorrow. Then we'll trade right on down into the 50 EMA, and then from there we could bounce, right? No problem. We could bounce higher and go to the moon. But if we start taking out that 50, trading back down to 250 actually makes a lot of sense, and then of course eventually come back to fill this gap at some point in time, which most likely will happen. So this particular level, keeping a really close eye because you did have a shaved top candle almost perfectly on the daily chart on the SPY. Let's go talk about some gaps that occurred today, and really an interesting day out there in the markets. Pretty excited. This was a trade that took last night on the E-minis. I actually deleted it, but I'll bring it up again on the 5-minute. So this was Sunday night. That's actually one of my favorite times to trade the E-minis is Sunday night, because normally you do get some type of gap. And that gap, you have a little bit of slow movement, but it's good enough you can make a little bit of gains from. So this was the 5-minute chart on the E-minis last night. And I'm just going to go back to last night, and here was the setup. So this was the gap down last night, and right here as it was gapping. So it gapped, right? This was a gap and go because it was trapping some people. Trade down, trade up, trade down, and then trade sideways for a long time. And what's cool about that is it was below the moving averages. If I zoom in a little bit right here. So below the moving averages, this support right there was a really nice support based on this candle, this candle, this candle, and this candle. And once that candle formed, that was it. Break below there, stop above there. That was about a 4-point stop. And I just took it off at 1R, a little bit more than 1R. Right below the low of this candle. I should have held for 2, or at least could have held for 2. Still not a futures trading specialist, but that was not a bad, just really quick 1R while sitting on the couch. So pretty easy on the E-minis. And then today, this was the trade that we took on BABA in the morning room. I was in the day trading room all day today. And BABA, I want to talk about this gap on the daily chart because it really was quite beautiful. Here's the trade. I don't even know what chart this is. Let me pull it up. This was it. Okay, so right as the market was opening, this was the setup that I took that we took on BABA today, and I'll kind of look at this daily gap. So this gap was magnificent, so pretty. Let me just hide all the drawings for a moment. And what's really fun about this gap is the 100 simple. Right, we were failing the 100 simple, which was that resistance, and we were gapping down below 3 days of candles. So gapping down below this candle, and below this candle, and just right barely below the low. So what was cool about it is on the 5-minute chart, if you turn the pre-market volume on, and I'll kind of go back to right as the market was opening. So this is what I saw. So right as the tail end of the market, right before we opened, I was thinking, okay, well this is a nice little pre-market support, pretty easy to see. Almost a tweezer bottom right here. So my thought is it could bounce easily, right? No problem. But since the gap was so good, if it did break below that support, then some people would be horrifically trapped and they'd probably be losing money. So the next candle came in was even a better bullish candle, right? Gorgeous bullish candle. It's like, come on. I mean, definitely some buying going on down there. And remember, it is a bearish gap on the daily. So my thought process is, well, since it is a bearish gap, let's look for a bearish trade. So if this support breaks down, then we should be good. This was right before market open. 5 minutes before market open, this candle formed. So my thought was, okay, it's going, right? Do a limit sell right at the low and get a nice, comfortable stop well up here. This is a $1 stop on BABA. And, you know, again, a big stop, I get that. But usually early in the morning, you want a nice, comfortable stop. And this is what happened from there. So a little bit of a retest. And in fact, this is the exact candle that you would want to see anyway, right? It's my favorite candle. On a gap down, a high wave bullish candle on a 5-minute chart. So, you know, having an entry right here and a stop right here is equally as simple. And that would have been a wonderful, wonderful trade on Alibaba. That's not what we played, so we played again. This is the exact setup right here. 148.60 or 149.60. And then this candle came in and all was good. So I ended up trailing the stop a little, trailing the stop, got trailed out, and then it bounced, and we can kind of see what it ended up doing and making a nice little move. So a good trade on BABA. Pretty happy with how we played that one in the morning room today. And then the miss of the day, because there's always one. The miss of the day was ABBV. Look at this gap. Now this gap was on dividends. I've had a lot of people ask me, do I play dividend gaps? And the answer is yes. I'll definitely play a dividends gap. I loved this gap. Something about it was just so clean. Very tiny Marubozu candle on Friday. It was an inside day candle. You had this high wave bullish candle on Thursday. Very small, kind of a cute gap down, trapping some people. And I was watching it on a 3-minute chart. Now again, at this time I was already in on BABA. So agreed, I should have just shorted it. Entry would have been there, stop would have been up here somewhere. And the reason I didn't short it is because I was already in BABA. I had not locked in a gain on it yet, and I wanted that candle to close bullish. Since it didn't, even though this next candle came in, I don't know. My plan, if I'm in one trade already and I have yet to lock in a profit, I find it kind of dumb to take a second trade, just for me personally, in my own trading. If I take a second trade without having locked in a realized gain or loss on the other trade, because I don't know how bad it's going to be. So at that particular point in time, I hadn't locked in a small loss or a small gain or anything on BABA, so I could have lost an R on BABA, taken that trade, could have lost on that trade, could have been a 2R loser. Now obviously that would have been a nice 2.5, 3R gain on ABBV had I taken it, but that was the miss of the day. But if this candle would have closed in bullish, I would have absolutely, unquestionably taken that trade. And then realistically, if you hop over here to a 5-minute chart, this was a very nice candle. Should have played this move, should have played this breakdown, should have played this breakdown. And that's why I did not take the low of the day break. So the low of the day break was so pretty. If you come back over here, look at this low of the day break. I mean, this is gorgeous. So you get this candle that comes in, and then you get this bullish. Look at this. Look at this. So this volume on this candle, nice bullish volume. And you get this bearish candle, you get another bullish candle. So obviously people are buying at the low of the day. And this was the setup, 84.97 by 85.40. And that was it triggering, retesting. That's when I moved the stop down, as you can see from old stop to the new stop. And then, it had a decent little break. Could have made some money right there. I mean, you're definitely not losing. And then again, it didn't really crush until late in the afternoon. But even then, it would have been a very small gain at best. But not a bad low of the day break on ABBV. Can I give a shout out to Johnny Guarksters, who made himself 2.2 Rs on ABBV. Let me scroll up to give him a shout out. Where is he? Johnny, there it is. 1059, thanks for ABBV 2.2 Rs. So well done, Mr. Guarks. He was featured on our Instagram yesterday for doing 25 push-ups, 140 push-ups today. Coming at the end of today's stock review is myself knocking out a few as well. Another wonderful gap was ATHM, and I missed this one by pennies and cents. So ATHM, look at this gap on the daily chart. So pretty. Very nice gap down. So you actually had a gap down yesterday being Friday. White candle gapping down, so it's already a bearish gap and go, and then you got this huge fade, massive volume. Then, at open this morning, was kind of like that continuation. So everyone who bought in here is trapped at open. So this was a really good gap down on Auto Home, and here's the 5-minute chart. And again, while I was looking at this one and BABA and ABBV, so those are the top 3 gaps on the day, I missed this guy, entry right here. So the low of this candle was 69.77. The high of this candle, low is 69.77. The high of this candle, 69.74, and then 69.74. So that's a tweezer top, didn't hit 69.77, missed that rollover, pretty painful. And then late in the afternoon, this was the trade I was looking at on Auto Home, which would have worked out for, you know, a measly decent game. Wouldn't have been terrible. Could have gotten a little bit on it, but that's Auto Home. Other trade was Lulu, LULU. So we did take this one officially as well. And I missed the really gorgeous bearish fade right here. So this is again on a 5-minute chart. If I turn on the exponential moving averages, you'll see that that's just chilling right against the 20. Very cute candle, nice retracement. Should not have broken lower. And I just missed that trade. I didn't even see it. Entry would have been there, stop would have been there. That would have been a gorgeous, gorgeous trade. But what we took instead was a little bit later in the day. Didn't really work out as well, but still able to get a 1/4 of an R on Lulu. And here's the 15-minute chart. You'll see it as soon as I pull it up. Okay, 15-minute chart right here. And this was it. So as it was breaking down, that was it. That was the trade, 139.95 by 141.63. I figured I could lose less than 0.9 Rs that I locked in on BABA, 0.93, and you know, a good comfortable stop. So got filled on that candle. That candle's a nice little doji. Again, another doji. Look at the volume. The volume is just abysmal. So you got to think it's about to just tank, right? And then you get that candle come in. That was a really pretty candle, and that's exactly what we want to see. And then the next flash lower, boom. Almost got to our target, but hit 139. I figured, hey, let's just exit a super small position there, which was little less than 10% of the position. Big bullish candle, failed the 10 on the 15. You know, and again, that's when we started exiting right around here to tell everyone to get out of the trade for the official trade. So that was really it towards the end of the day. So a super, super small win on Lulu. But the good news is January challenge was for us to get 2 Rs on a bearish fade, and this was a bearish fade. And I got myself 1.25 Rs today, so only 1.75 Rs left on some bearish fades for the month. 2 or 3 other gaps I'll look at. Here's Amazon, AMZN, and this was a really interesting move today. Here's the daily chart, and I actually liked this gap other than all of these moving averages acting as a support. So the 50 and the 10 was all there. This was a good gap on Amazon because it was an inside day candle on Friday. In fact, an inside doji, almost perfect doji. Gap below 4 days of worth of wicks, opened lower. And I was watching Amazon super early this morning for a bearish move, and it just never happened, right? We can see that once this candle came in, it just kept on trucking and never really rolled over until late in the afternoon. I was no longer in the room at this point, but there's your support. There's your bullish inside day candle breakdown. That would have been the bearish trade. Stop would have been up here. And that would have actually been a really good, nice 2R trade. But again, I did not take that. Nice little gap on Amazon. A little bit of weakness, down 1.5%. Here's the hourly chart. So hitting the 50. So expect a little bit of a bullish pop off of that sometime tomorrow. And then if it breaks that down, you know, most likely Amazon was kind of hang out and chill for a little bit. My buddy Bryson got into a 1920 January 25th bear call spread a few days ago. I think that was a really good play on his part. And last but not least, here's Taylor Brands. I did not take this trade today, but I do want to kind of walk through what I was thinking on it. Nice gap and go. Obviously, pretty much textbook. And here's the 5-minute chart on Taylor Brands. First 5-minute candle, obviously, lower shadow, not getting triggered in on that. And you got a bullish high of the day break right here. That's where everyone hops on bullish thinking it's going to fade. Then you get yourself the evening star reversal pattern. So here, here, and here. Could have entered here with a stop up there. That would not have been a bad trade, but did not do that. Didn't really think about it. This was happening, this was happening, this was happening, this was happening. And then right after I saw this candle here, I'll point to that with the red arrow. Once I saw that candle, I was like, okay, obviously a very strong bullish candle on Tailored Brands. So if at any point in time it takes out that candle with that volume, you know, since it is a bearish gap and go, and if I turn on the moving averages, you'll see they were really, really pretty, just kind of battling those. So once that candle came in, thought about it, and then when this candle came in, this is actually when I set up the 1252 by 1280 and thought about it, didn't take the trade. I guess I should have. This is how I would have played it. I would have exited a very small position here around 1225 Central, would have lowered my stop to 1263, and then once this evening star pattern came in, would have lowered the stop to 1238, and I would have exited all at this blue line at 1209. So it actually would have been about 1.7 hours. It would have been a decent trade, but can't beat everything. It's absolutely okay. And before you see me knock out some quick push-ups, I'd like to read a little bit of a tidbit from a trader who made a post in Slack today, which I really like this thought, and it echoes super well with just trading in general. But here's a trader who sent me this. He said, I had a thought. I think you've said it before. It might have just synced in. I've been racking my brains on percentages and using indicators and finding edges. I've been really diving in deep. I think maybe I've overdone that. If I focused on risk management, I could have kept my entry simple. The more technical I got, the worse my trading got. My revelation is pick a plan, make it simple, and mitigate risk. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Such good advice. Folks from around the world, tomorrow will be a really interesting day out in the markets. I have a feeling. I'm keeping an eye on some stuff. Let's see what happens. We will find out what transpires. I will be here. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. You guys rock. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, traders. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. It's Monday, 140, knocking them out today. Got my boy Derek on the mic, on the video camera. Here we go. Set to 20. There we go, 20 down. We got another 120 to go. We're gonna rock them out this afternoon. You guys rock, let's keep this challenge going. All right, traders, this is set number 80 to 90. We're doing it now in 10 set increments, making sure we get it finished in an hour, or less than an hour. So far, we've been doing this for about 15 minutes or so. Derek's been doing it with me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Easy. So remember, don't burn out because we have all month to do this. No rest days. Take it slow, steady, consistent, but get it done. That's 90. Got 50 left. 5 sets of 10. Easy day. I'll be back on the last set of 10. All right, team. 130. This is the last set of 10. Derek's out of breath. We're doing good. Getting it done. Slow, steady, and consistent. That is the way to achieve any goal that you have. Remember, we're halfway through. We have a whole lot more at the end of the month. It's only gonna get harder from here. Make sure we get it done. Stay consistent. Make it happen. One more for good luck. All right. 140. I'll see you all later in the week. You rock.